Okay, here we go, y'all. Um, my story with this is I started PA school a month ago now, and really, really quickly I started sitting a lot more. I'm sitting either in class or studying at least 10 hours Monday through Friday. And so I just very quickly could feel my body losing a lot of I'm usually getting 12 to 14,000 steps a day, lifting about 3, 4 times a week, and then playing basketball. So like my activity went way down. I'm also eating a lot less. I was very surprised to feel myself like really getting like a lot softer very quickly. So I've sort of adjusted to PA school, that schedule a little bit more. It's a huge time commitment, but it's also a brain commitment. When I started really doing a lot of I said kind of working out for my brain. So quick cardio, a lot of steps. I'm trying to do that. But I realized I really, really did want to do a better job of kind of keeping up with my weight training, just because I think that is such it's just so important. I really believe in it. So y'all all know that I believe that if you are a person that cares about health, you really need to be following an individual progressive weightlifting program. Y'all have heard me say that 1,000 times. That is a enduring part of fitness. That'll be with us for a long time. We may find out that certain micronutrients are more or less valuable than we thought, but in 100 years, fit people are going to be following individualized weightlifting programs. So I want everybody on that. Now, there's a lot of people that also benefit from group exercise, especially if you've been with a group for a long time or you're just getting into it, you benefit from that social support. But here's what we all know. We all know that we're all busy. We all have very limited time, and we need to get the most out of every minute that we have in the gym. So this is primarily for people who have found their schedules get turned upside down and that really need to kind of reset and focus on being super efficient in the gym. It's also for people who have not yet become regular exercisers. And it's also for people who primarily do group exercise, but who know they need to do the individual programmed weightlifting. Does that make sense? Is all that clear? And I think everybody, I guess I would just like, does everybody understand what I mean when I say individualized program weightlifting? Like, say back to me or teach me, one of you or anybody, what do I mean by that? I guess it's a pop quiz.
Well, I would imagine, not everybody is going to need the exact same, it's not going to fit all needs. So each one of us is probably going to need something a little bit individualized. And so that I would imagine is what you're talking about.
Yeah, I've led group classes for a really long time, group exercise classes. And again, there's a huge benefit to that. But
I think it includes the progressive loading too.
Yeah, that's pretty much the core of it, is that in order for you to get really good results, really good results, like performing well, so getting a lot stronger or just feeling a lot better in your day, fixing your back pain. If you want to lose body fat while maintaining your muscle, all that really does need to be pretty much specific, and it's got to be individualized. If you get 100 people start working out, a lot of people will start to minimize their back pain, and people are going to start getting fitter. But over the course of 6 months, a year, 3 years, if you really have goals that you're going after, you really need to track your progress, and you really need to be working specific movements, and you need to be working them at the appropriate intensity for you. And so the bottom line is the only way you can really progress a group perfect or well is if you have a general framework and everybody in that group already knows what they need to sort of be doing. So anyways, I mean, the point is you really do need to be lifting at your appropriate pace and progressively increasing. So if your main thing is a group exercise, a lot of times I don't want to pull someone out of a group they've been working out in, but we can supplementally add in some very beneficial individual programming. So there's a video that I've embedded into this program, and I have a disclaimer. It's created by a bodybuilder, and I'm not huge on the bodybuilder community. Um, they do a lot of good stuff. They know how to build muscle and lose fat, which is really helpful. But it's a little bit too much for me, and I imagine it's probably a little bit too much for you. But the guy that makes this video, his name is Jeff Nippard, and he's a very good sort of like lay scientist. Anyways, it's very good content, even if it's a little bit obnoxious. I do think this video is worth watching. And I think it's especially worth watching because this program applies a lot of the fundamental principles in this video. So this video is really good information, but it is made actionable with this program. The same way, if you jump into this program, this video will help you kind of understand how to use it to your benefit. So anyways, just there's not a ton of explicit language. I think there's one line anyways, but I would encourage you to watch that, but it's not a full endorsement. And here's what we're doing here. This program is based on 6 movements, and they are very basic. It's just all your basic movement patterns. The goal of this program is that you could do the perfect program that was maybe 4 to 5 days of exercise every week and get 100% of results. The goal of this program is for you to get like 80 to 95% of results in like half the time. Does that make sense? I don't care about you getting necessarily 100% of results because not many people need to push for that. It's not like you're a pro athlete. But if you do this program well, you will get the vast majority of the results in way less time. So here's what you need to know. These are not new movements for most of you. Like I've made a couple of programs very similar to this. These are just the very basic movements, but the structure of it is a little bit different and you need to be intentional with the way it's structured. So you're basically, each color is a superset. And a superset, you'll see it in the video, but a superset is basically doing one movement and then doing another movement that is different, that works a different part of the body. You do not rest between these 2 movements or between these 2 movements or between these 2 movements. So in other words, when you start, you do 2 movements back to back without taking any rest. Does that make sense? Donna, you asked, this is a dumbbell row or cable row. So basically I'm saying dumbbell or cable row there. Let me see, was there another question? Dumbbell or cable row, OHP, yes, overhead press, and BW is body weight. Okay, so the goal is you take about 1 minute of rest in between each set, but you call like bench press cable row a set. So basically you do bench press, immediately you go into cable row or dumbbell row, and then you take a minute rest. And then you do bench press, dumbbell cable row, and then a minute rest, bench press, dumbbell cable row, and then a minute rest. Does that make sense? So these 2 exercises you're going to do, well, I'll explain this part first. Sorry. This program, I'll zoom back out real quick. This program is designed for you to select either 2 days a week or 3 days a week. And I say here, what I want you to do is make a selection that you can stick with 100% for the next, through January. So if you don't think you have time to do it 3 times a week, just commit to 2, but do not miss 2. Nikki, I would push you to do 3. If you're already doing group exercise and you're already getting an average of about 3 workouts a week, I would just have you do 2 times a week. Okay. If you're looking for a supplement to what you're doing in BioFit or a group exercise, I would just pick 2. If this is your primary workout program, I would have you do 3. Okay. So you're going to make a selection. I'm either going to do this 2 days a week or I'm going to do it 3 days a week. I am doing it 3 days a week. Okay, so here's the goal. 3 days a week, in and out of the gym as fast as you possibly can. So in order to do this, you're doing a superset where you're not taking any rest in between these, or back to back. And then if you're doing it 3 times a week, you're going to do 3 sets. If you're doing it twice a week, you're going to do 4 sets. So what that means is I'm doing it 3 times a week. Okay, so I'm going to do 3 sets, which means I'm going to do bench press row, take a minute rest. bench press row, take a minute rest, bench press row, take a minute rest. That makes sense? And then I'm going to move on to the next one. I'm going to do back squat, pull down or pull up, take a minute rest, back squat, pull down, take a minute rest, back squat, pull down, take a minute rest. And then overhead press, deadlift. And so you can see here, back squat is very different than a lat pull down, works completely different muscles. That's what allows you to take 0 rest. So I'm doing like a leg workout and going straight into an upper workout. And so it keeps my energy up. Like I'm not getting gassed by doing like a bench press and then another press. Here's the beauty of it. I did this the other day. It took me 27 minutes the first time I did it. I did a quick warm up before that. So I think the whole thing actually took me 32 minutes, like a 5-minute warm up, but basically it took me 27 minutes to work through this. Here's the other really big thing though. I'm doing all sets at about 6 to 8 reps, and I am going every set is to failure. So that is probably the most important part of this whole program. So I'm not just picking up a random weight and doing it 6 to 8 times and quitting. And I did it at a weight that I could do 15 presses. I'm pretty much going all out. And towards the end of my set, I was hitting 6 or maybe even 5 on a couple of them. So the whole point is, if you want to maximize your time and be in and out of the gym really fast, you can do that. But the trade-off is you got to go really pretty darn hard. So that's okay. It's just, you care about your time. Let's value your time, but you gotta go hard. The good news is you're not at a huge risk for injury. Usually you're at a big risk for injury if you're doing like a lot of really high impact stuff, like a bunch of burpees or a bunch of box jumps or really fast deadlifts. You can still take your time during that set. And I'm not asking you to do a 1 to 2 rep max, but 6 to 8 reps. If occasionally you go a little bit higher, that's okay. But the whole point is you are going pretty darn heavy. Does that kind of make sense? That the goal there is, the trade-off is, if you're not going to spend a lot of time, it's got to be at a very high intensity. But this also tracks really well with the fact that I've been pushing just about it. Hey, Mira, welcome in.
Hey, Andrew.
Hey.
Sorry to interrupt.
Hey, no worries. This also tracks really well with the fact that I've been pushing. I gave a training about a month ago where I said you're not lifting heavy enough. I really think one of the biggest mistakes people make in the gym is that they are not lifting heavy enough, and we really need to get better at pushing that threshold. And so from a strength standpoint, about 6 to 8 reps is really kind of a sweet spot for you getting stronger. Okay, the last point, I took these in a bad order, but the last point is that I want you 1 time a week to track what weights you're doing. So use as little rest as possible between sets. Take 1 minute between each. Or you're working towards 1 minute. It might take you a little bit longer the first time you do it. Take all sets to failure or very close to it, leaving no more than 1 rep in the tank. Track your weights 1 time a week. So just go through and log in what you did. And then make a selection for either 2 days a week or 3 days a week and adhere to it 100%. Now, once you've done that for a couple of weeks, we can talk about adding in some back extension, leg extension, tricep pull down, leg curl. These are some good movements that I would encourage a lot of people to move to. But if we're talking a minimalist program, get the most out of the least time, I want you to focus and do these really well. And if you're doing a group exercise, I've been asking you to do an individual program. So like Donna, for example, if I could use you as an example, I would love to see you add this twice a week, and track some of your progress on these and see how that improves over time. Make sense?
Question, I'm late coming in and I hate to interrupt, but that
Yeah.
185 weights in week 1, is that total for the week or is that in one setting?
So
185 is the weight.
this was my weight so I went in and I did bench press at 185 for 6 to 8 reps. And then I did cable row I worked up after my first set, I went up to 180. So I just logged what I did this
Okay.
exercise at for 6
All
to
right.
3 sets.
Thank you.
Yeah. And Mary, I'd love to see where your weights are. I know you're using some machines, which is fine. You just tell me what's on the machine. But I'd love to see these just basic movements, kind of where you are, and if we're able to progress those, because I know you've gotten about 5 times stronger. I'd like to see what
Yeah.
mine is.
I couldn't breathe at first.
Yep, your cardio will have to catch up, but you'll get there. You'll get there. So Sally, Horace, as y'all look at like, really kind of focusing on your programming, that's something that I could do a little bit better for y'all, is help y'all track that. I'd love to see y'all add just, hey, 2 days here, adhere to it real well, track that, and y'all are gonna do great. Donna,
Okay,
Okay,
in addition to the
vital fit.
bottle fit,
I would add it to Vital Fit just like that. Yep.
okay, when we get back.
Yeah, absolutely. Donna, yes.
Well, I don't have a lat pull down machine at home to do, and I physically can't do a pull up. Would
Yeah.
a hang count, or what do you suggest doing?
Actually,
instead of a
honestly,
pull-up?
hangs are actually really good.
Because we got something I can hang from. I just can't literally pull myself up.
Okay, this is at your house.
Yeah, because I intend to do these twice a week at home.
Okay, I would do
I don't think we have lat pull down machines at the gym either. We don't have those kinds of equipment.
yeah, overhead pulls are the hardest to work in. So you can do some bands that you could maybe buy some bands or a TRX band or something that you could put over your head and pull yourself at an angle that you're about 6 to 8 reps in on.
Okay, we've done those kind of things, and I've got something I can do that with. I didn't know that would keep it the same, but okay.
The
I guess
problem is if
it's so that will works.
The problem is if it's just a band, it's probably not going to be heavy enough for you to really do a true 6 to 8 rep max. So that's why I might say like do you have a TRX band that you can do your body weight?
No, but I've got something similar to. I'll go downstairs and take a picture of it and send it to you separately, and you can advise me how to use the equipment best.
Okay, yeah, so that sounds good. Here's another option though for most people. This is one I'd want you to be aware of. This is what I actually got really good at pull-ups accidentally just by doing this thing. I was working higher sets or higher reps, and so I was doing like 12 to 15. I just couldn't do 12 to 15 pull-ups. I can now, but this is an assisted pull-up machine. They'll have these at most gyms. Anywhere they've got a lot of machines, they'll usually have this.
Mhm.
So this could be a good one.
The old Vital Signs had one of those, and I used it occasionally. Yes.
Yeah, I don't think we have it anymore, but
No, we don't.
But so you just set that resistance to the point where it's helping you to where you can get to 6 to 8.
But we've got one of those type things. It just doesn't have the assisted part. It's a frame like that. So I might be able to
Yeah.
get the assisted pull-ups there where they've got sort of band around their foot.
Right. Yeah. Here's another one. You could do a band. But that would still a band around your foot, Donna, that's still pretty, I imagine that's still going to be a really darn hard pull up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's kind of hard for you to find the middle ground because usually just a band overhead is going to be a little too light. But man, I mean, a pull up is tough. I mean, even really, really fit women in their prime, 8 pull ups is about as much as a, anyways, I mean, that's pull ups is very, very hard for women, which I understand. So
I think the most I've ever done in my life was 5.
nice.
That was a long, long time ago.
Yeah, so we'll try to send me a picture of what you have, but if anybody has access to this at a gym, I'd encourage you do a assisted pull up. The only other one that you could do that I can think of, like off the top of my head, would be a lat pull down.
I don't have a lat pull down machine either.
Yeah, again, overhead pull ups are going to be the hardest.
I know. I'm just saying,
Yeah,
that's what your thing said, lat pull down or pull up. And it's like, I don't think I can do either one. So, okay.
yeah.
So thank you for answering. Thanks.
Absolutely. If y'all could see this is a good, doesn't translate exactly to a pull up, but it's really good for that. Mary, you'll have those machines where you're working out.
Yeah, we do, and I haven't been using them because I didn't know I should, but as long as it doesn't require anything that would hurt my knees,
Nope.
I can't do anything on my knee, with my knees.
Yeah, no, that's probably the easiest, the best movement on your knee you could find. It's totally doesn't do it at all.
But now when you say assisted pull-ups, are you talking about assisted by another person? Because sometimes I see two people working on those machines
No,
together.
it's assisted like this thing. This you see where this person's knees, this pad they're on.
Yes,
That's
yes.
attached to a lever that you can determine. Like you could put your body weight on that stack. Like say you weigh 200 pounds, you could put 200 pounds on that lever, and you would just go up naturally. So you can pick whatever weight you can.
Oh, okay.
You could literally
I
have
see.
you could literally even only have the ability to pull down 1 pound, and you can still do a pull up with that.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah.
I've never used
As you
one of
get
these
stronger,
before.
you reduce that amount of weight, right?
Exactly.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So, okay, I've sent this out to y'all. If you would, I really think good sort of good on maybe good luck for this. Really think everybody on this call is going to benefit from this. Nikki, I think the program you were on, sometimes if you aren't adhering to a program, sometimes you just need to get a little bit better on it. But the best program you can do is the one you can adhere to, because I think this will save you time. I think it might actually make sense to switch to this. It's just very, very, very easy to adhere to. I think adherence to the premium for you. So again, I'd encourage you to do that 3-day. If you're in a group class, do a 2-day. See if 4 sets is reasonable for you, Donna, Sally, and Horace. If y'all need to start at 3 sets, that's okay. But I think you're going to get your best benefit if you're doing 4 sets twice a week. And again, if you watch this video, it'll kind of explain that. And then I also have a little bit more of a detailed explanation in this video as well too. So just if you need a refresher, you can always watch there. Does that make sense?
Great.
Mhm.
All right, y'all. Any last questions?
Thanks. I think it's really timely since I'll be going out of town next week. So I won't be doing my Vital Fit, but I'll definitely do this and whatever else I can do at the gym for the other 3 days.
Honestly, Donna, what I would do is do it twice a week when you're in town with Vital Fit, and then either just keep doing it twice a week when you go on a vacation, or maybe you bump it up to the 3 times. But I think like something like that could be really good for you to just really simplify.
Okay.
And you can stick with it in the long term, and eventually we can change it up when you outgrow it. But I think for now, I don't think you need to be working out 4 times a week on your trip. Just do that well, and I think you're going to get your benefit.
But do it 3 instead of the 2, because I was thinking about doing it 2, but when I'm away, do it 3 times. And when I get back home, do it 2.
You might, I think you actually could do that, because I know I'm breaking the number 1 rule, which is stick to one.
Stick with what you pick.
But with your situation, do 2 whenever things are normal. And if you ever go on a trip, you can bump it up to 3.
Great. Thanks.
Absolutely.
You said you emailed this to those of us who are here?
I emailed it yesterday